as a result of what he says. So I'm thinking that if miracles are going to happen today, if healing and feeding and turning lives around, changing lives today is going to happen, we need to pay attention. We need to pray. We need to carry on that work ourselves. Jesus has already shown us who's in need of healing, who's in need of being set free from the same oppressive systems as those whom Jesus set free. Healthcare systems that failed to care for those most in need, believing that need was based on wealth and power and influence, and not on actual illness or disease. Religious systems that have been co-opted by political power, as if God had a party or a platform that looked anything like we could vote or even agree on. An economy that was based on scarcity and not on the promise of abundance that is at the heart of our scriptures. An abundance that says no one should be homeless or hungry. An abundance that denies God's love and limits it by our fears and our confusions. An abundance of love so limitless that even I can be loved, even you can be loved into healing and wholeness. So if we're tempted to ask, where is Jesus in all this in times like these? When we wonder where God is and why the healing is dependent on broken systems and people who scramble for necessities, and we find ourselves isolated and cut off from each other, in times like these, we really already know where Jesus is. Jesus has already shown us who he is. And it's our job to show that to the world. It's our job to be in the world, to be light and life and living water. It's our job to offer bread and life, to offer hope and peace, to care for one another out of the abundance and generosity that Jesus has shown us that God is. We already know that we are covenant keepers. The covenant with Abraham and Sarah that says that we are blessed to be a blessing. We already know that we are to live with mercy and kindness, to do justice, and to do so humbly that people will know that it's never about us, but about God. We already know that God is unimpressed with proper worship. The prophets tell us this. And that instead, God hungers for us to be family to those who don't have family. Widows and orphans and children, strangers and refugees. We already know what it means to love our neighbors. Jesus showed us that throughout his life. Some insist that that was the purpose even of his death. This sounds like what President Kennedy said when Barb and I were talking about this yesterday. She reminded me, Kennedy said, here on earth, God's work must be our own. Now, I haven't even really talked about Jesus raising Lazarus yet, where all this started for me this week. I'm going to get to that. Not right now. This is enough for now. But and the next day, I'll post another video and talk specifically about Lazarus, that story. For now, I invite you to pray with me, please. You have shown us, O God, what is good. To do justice, to love mercy, to be kind, and to do so with all humility, that people can see you in all we do. In these days, as isolated as we are, let us never lose sight of who we are and whose we are, of who you are and who you call us to be. We are never apart from you, but always a part of you. In every instance, on the street, in the store, online, let us be Christ to one another. Just as Jesus has shown us how to do, just as you have shown us yourself in Jesus, whose life and ministry are now ours. Thanks be to you, O God. Amen. I miss you all. I pray for you all, for all of us daily. I look forward to the time when we can be together again, in one place once more. Until then, peace be with you all. And thanks be to God for all that has been and all that is yet to be. Amen.